Hey, Nick.
Hey, buddy.
What do you get when you cross a vampire and a snowman?
A vampire snowman?
Pretty close. Frostbite.
We don't have it yet.
Come one, come all. Welcome to another episode of We Don't Have It Yet. Recording from the Wicked Good Basement. I am one of your hosts, Wyatt. Over there in Chicago is my good buddy, Nick. How are we doing, Nick?
We doing, buddy?
Hell yeah. We've got some fun today. Summer Game Fest has been going on. We've got some new games that have been announced that look pretty promising. The Critic might be coming back, the very short-lived two-season animated series back in the late 90s, I believe. And Amazon knows how to ruin something else. And I will leave that one at that. So, Nick.
Yo.
It's kind of later on my list here, but I really want to talk about this right now. I hear you played in a pinball tournament this past week.
Oh, yeah. I think this is where you're going to tell everybody that I'm better than you, and that is incorrect.
Oh no, your stats are going to tell everyone that you're better than me. How did you do?
I think I finished tied for 5th. 20 points out of a possible 28.
I mean, that's pretty dang good.
It's okay. I was playing pretty well. Rewind. Yeah, this is a monthly tournament at a brewery near me. And it's a Stern Army event, so it's only Stern tables. And yeah, I mean, I did all right. It's stiff competition, man. What can I say? I was playing pretty well, and it's just not well enough when you have guys that are like top 500, top 200 in the world. Basically treat this like a hustle racket, and they just go on tour and collect money. Albeit not very much, but whatever.
So I assume finals were top 4, probably?
So there were no finals, actually.
Oh.
In this one, it was just straight points and then went to a playoff if there were any ties, like a single ball playoff, just because we were running really long. There were only 5 tables going and too many people, so you had like a B group. And you had odd numbers, so you'd have like a group of 3, and then another group of 3 had to wait until they were done their game, and then they could play their round on Pokemon. So everything was running a little behind. They were light on machines, so it was kind of a compromise. If anything, it makes me feel good that I think you and I have both said this before. I look around, I'm like, these guys do this like 3 or 4 times a week. I do this like 5 or 6 times a year. So I can feel good about myself holding my own, right?
I'd say so. As you're talking, I'm doing a very quick, maybe I should have opened these before, but I wanted to look at all the people in front of you. And yeah. So two of the people that finished ahead of you, one was 277th in IFPA, one was, I think, at 470 or so. You got another one within the top 10,000 and another one around 10,000. So yeah, it's not.
I'm in the 10,000. That doesn't bother me, but it's these guys are like hardcore, and I could probably never be on that level without dedicating a significant amount more time. But I think I was messaging you guys during it, and it was like, all right, started drawing Pokemon and took a first in Pokemon, and then I drew Pokemon again. And I think
pulling the same game twice.
It does, but like coming off a win makes you feel a little better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
So, and then I had a game on D&D, and we keep saying if you're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons, just hammer that dragon shot during the tournament to just get the multi-ball. So I did that, of course, and then ended up inadvertently starting a mode and ran it up to about 150. When you're actually like doing the dungeon crawl thing in the pinball game. Yeah, apparently I did that quite well because I defeated a couple monsters and ran my score up. And I was really happy with where I was at. I kind of chunked my 3rd ball on that game, and then this dude just came in and plays his 3rd ball and just does like a billion. That's how that go.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yep. So I ended up taking, I think it was a first and a second on Pokemon, a second on D&D, and a second on Rush. So like hanging in there. I'm happy, but I could do better. Rush I was really rusty with, but that was actually pretty cool. I missed that game.
Yeah, I got to play that for the first time when we were at Golden State, and I put up I think it was the 13th highest score for the entirety of the festival.
Nice.
It wasn't a good score. It was, I guess, but I was looking at the good scores. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just that's not really that good of a score. It just was for people that either scan themselves in or.
Oh, Pokemon's like already nuts, man. I'm looking at the scoreboard, the high scores, and people are already running up like 10 billion, like insane numbers.
Yeah,
no, I'm I got 100. I'm happy. 100 mil. Like, what a great game.
That's basically where I feel like I did okay on.
That's
Pokemon,
my threshold because that's the we know from Golden State that's the level where you win a Pokemon card from the special Pokemon pinball machine. So I'm like, if I can make 100 and hang out in there, I feel like I'm being competitive, and that worked out.
So was there anything you pulled that you didn't want to pull? I mean, I think you only had 4 rounds, so it wasn't really
Rush. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
and then Pokemon.
There was only 5 tables there, so it was Fall of the Empire, the new Star Wars table.
I don't like that.
I don't care for it either. Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon, Rush, and the Godzilla 75th anniversary.
I don't think I've played that one before either.
Oh, it's great. And I was actually, it's a really weird thing, and it falls back to my whole belief that pinball is all just about feel and getting along with the machine. But I never played Godzilla very well, honestly. And maybe it's just because I hadn't really put the time into it. I don't know. But people know that machine, front, back, upside down. And then when they released the 75 revision, I sort of started getting along with it, oddly. Even though it's, the change is fairly minimal. It's more just like a more premium version, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, didn't draw that one, and I kind of wished I had. I did pull Rush, which I hadn't played in forever, and held my own.
It's a hard table.
Yeah, it's got that center shot, just like Stranger Things, just like Iron Maiden. They're very similar, but I really like it. And they had that center shot. The ramp goes up and then down, and you're kind of adding time to the man at work mode, I guess.
Yep.
You have to get him home by 5. And so you're pumping minutes into the time machine. I really dug that, and I'd like to go back there and actually just mess around with it more, because that's another one that I've never just kind of sat down with or stood next to, as it were. My saving grace in the whole tournament was all of the tables were set really sensitive, so I probably actually got some favors. Because, yeah, there was a lot of tilting going on, and I don't do the hardcore nudging that a lot of people do. The guys that kind of smack both sides of the table at the same time. Like, I respect it. It's fine. It's just not in my game. So by virtue of nothing but being a horrible juggler who doesn't always nudge when he should, I probably caught some lucky breaks.
Hey, I mean, any given ball in pinball, all it takes is, one person getting overconfident and tilting out a huge bonus, and Nick's coming up clutch.
Yeah, man, and you want to say, like, oh, this is proof that I'm better than you or anything. You could have easily held your own at this one, I think, and you could have been quite confident doing so. And I hadn't played since Golden State, and I hadn't played in a tournament for like a month before that. Yeah, I was happy with the way I performed, and it's fine. It's just hanging out,
That's all it is. I mean, neither of us are ever going to be good enough to be, chasing tournament wins week in and week out. So really, it's just, being able to hang out with a community that somewhat shares your interest.
It also does make me happy that I can show up and just kind of, like I said, not get embarrassed at least.
Yeah.
Like, hold my own a little bit. That's all I need out of it, kind of thing. I'm never going to have the time to devote to go hardcore, I don't think, until maybe my kid's in college or something. I don't know.
Did you notice, I logged into my match play account because I haven't been in there in, a year or so because I don't play in tournaments or anything. Did you know you finished 1 spot out of the finals in the Red Pin Classics?
No.
Yeah, you finished 3 points out of the finals.
I don't think I even finished, did all my games, honestly.
I did not. I finished in last place, 21
Okay.
out of 21, and I played one game.
It was, well, that would do it. I think, yeah, it was kind of like every time I walked by, if there was a machine open, I was like, all right, let's try and get a game in, and then I'll raise my hand, they can record the score. But they were pretty manned throughout the whole weekend, and
Yep. Yeah, I didn't wait around on it. I played my one game, and then I think I think I tried a second game, and whatever machine I was on broke, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. But yeah, I mean, I scored 174 points on one game. I'm not really sure how the scoring system works, but let's say if I got 174 points per game, if I would have done, looks like the average number of plays was 10, so, which definitely can't be true because I would have won by over 1,000 points. So I'm not really sure how the point scoring worked, but I know the person that finished directly in front of me had 175 points, but they played 4 games.
You can explain what match play is, too. It's just a
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, for
website.
anyone that really isn't pinball like
or
us.
somebody that might be interested in going to play in a tournament.
Yeah. No, match play essentially is how you set up all your tournaments. It's where all of your stats are kept. As long as what you're playing in is entered into match play, you create an account,
It's
claim
tied to your
IFPA number.
IFPA number, yeah.
Yep, so get an IFPA number, attach it to that, and then basically it's just a history of all of your matches you've played in. So it's kind of cool to be able to look back and see, how you did. And I have no idea how I memory hold an entire season of League Pinball last summer, but apparently I played in League from last July through August, and I have no recollection of showing up to any of those games.
Wait, this is like at your club or somewhere else?
Oh yeah, nope, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I played in the Northeast Pinball Challenge for 3 weeks. I'm not sure how many weeks it was, so I may not have completed the season. I vaguely remember playing something, and then I think summer activities came up, and then I just didn't show up. I wasn't anywhere close to qualifying for the finals, so I think I was like, you know what, I'm good. But yeah, I apparently played in a league last year, and might possibly be getting back into playing League again coming up soon. So that's kind of exciting.
It's a good time, man, and there's no reason to be intimidated. If you enjoy pinball and you're worried about going out to play in a tournament, don't. It's a very welcoming community for the most part, and they'll, help you out if it's your first time and make sure you know the rules and, avoid faux pas or anything like that. It's just fun. And sure, there are people that take it way too seriously, but
that's everything. That's life.
Yeah, that's life. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to, and you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but it was my favorite thing last year, or whenever the last time you did it. But I hear you had another parents versus kids soccer game.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did. I didn't know where you were going with this.
Yeah, it was a terrible transition, but it just popped up in my head, and I really wanted to hear about it because
this is not in the show notes
last time.
Yeah. So yeah, end of the season every year, or every season, I guess, because we probably did it last fall too. I don't even remember when it was, but we were recording this show, so it had to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't do it last summer, so it had to have been last fall.
Yeah, last practice of the year, they do all the parents versus all the kids, and it's essentially just bedlam. But kids are getting older. Boys are around 10 now, and getting a little more aggressive out there, a little more confident in themselves. So yeah, just we were out there on the field, and I'm not a soccer player. Let's just make that totally clear. Anyone that's never seen me, I'm very tall, lanky, with 2 left feet. Stick me under the boards in basketball, your team will do okay. But depend on me as a wingman, and you're probably screwed.
So you could have been the next Peter Crouch. I don't know how you didn't turn out to be Peter Crouch. But.
Yeah, right. My basically my strategy was try not to bowl any of the kids over and still get the ball away from them as best I can. My wife, bless her soul, was probably even more cautious out there than I was, and she was back on defense and just had one of those balls come to her, and it was like, get rid of it, and she booted it, and it made contact with the side of a kid's face about 8 feet away, who ran right into the line of fire, and it was kind of one of those, oh no, and I kind of was sitting there like, and I feel really bad about it. The kid was fine, but if you watched it as a, kids are stupid on Reddit kind of thing, it was just one of those perfect situations where this kid came around the corner just as the ball was flying into his path, and it just, oh God, it creamed him so good. And it was one of those things where it's like, I feel bad, but you dumb bastard.
If you didn't go to the hospital, it's fine.
No. And to be fair, like, this has happened to my son more than a few times in games. We joke that his head has like a magnet on it or something because he took some shots to the face in the indoor league that I was like, damn, I'm impressed that he's actually walking that off. Because, especially boys this age, they don't want to show that anything might have affected them. They just, like, try and walk it off, and you could see like, ooh, he took a rough one there. But yeah, man, that was fun. I think the kids actually won. I don't know if there was official scorekeeping going on, but by the end, things tend to evolve where they get to have like 5 goalies, and then just offsides no longer exists, and yeah, it's fun.
Did you play goal this year? I know you did last time.
I did not. No, I did not. I learned my lesson last year. Yeah, I'm not nimble enough to react that quickly. It's more of a, like, I lean into diving and then go, oh God, my back.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in high school, I went to one of our varsity soccer games. I never played soccer, but I enjoyed supporting the team, and we went out, and there was one kid, we'll just say his name was Bustin. And Bustin went to make a dive, I believe, to his left to make a save, and he cracked his head off the side of the goalpost.
That would be me.
Yeah, 100%. No, he was like, he was hurt, like it was bad, and I was like, holy crap! Like, for whatever reason, I just never thought of that as a possibility ever, watching soccer or anything, and then being like, oh yeah, if you don't have your situational awareness about you, that can definitely happen.
That would 100% be me.
Yeah, that wasn't even a ha 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 ha, oh no. That was just an oh no.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they play on a full pitch, but the goals in the nets are a little downsized, obviously, because they're kids and they can't cover all that much ground. So, like, I am definitely just about as tall as the goal, and if I were in goalie and like turned around too quickly, I could easily see myself just
doming yourself
straight to the ground. Yeah. So I was giving it to everybody. Looks at me just because I'm large. And like, dude, I didn't play this game. I was giving my wife a hard time. I'm like, you played varsity soccer in high school. Like, you still have a cannon. And maybe I shouldn't have said that, because then
then she had to prove it.
Then she punted a kid in the side of the head. Yeah.
I hope someone's recording that. I'd love to see a video of that.
You'll have to check with the friend moms that might have been on the sideline, but I think all the parents were pretty much out there.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
But
no, that's fantastic. I enjoy that stuff. It makes me a terrible person, but I enjoy that stuff.
I don't think that kid's parents are likely to be listeners, nor have we named his name, nor do I remember his name, because I'm terrible with that shit. So, yeah, it's fine. It could be anybody. I'm sure there, across the country, many kids were struck with soccer balls to the face over the past week.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. It's kind of part of the game, and you learn how to either make it work for you and actually have it come off your head like it's supposed to, or you find a new sport.
And that's one murder that had a happy ending.
Thanks, Mort.
So going along the topic of you and the boy, we've talked a lot about how every week you guys do your family movie night. And I'm always curious to hear what you have brought into his life, and more importantly, what fun food you guys have on your Friday night spreads.
Friday night double feature, one kid, one adult movie. Yeah, so we did, it was hot as shit this weekend here in Chicagoland, and we decided a cold platter was appropriate. So we bought a bunch of grocery store sushi and a giant shrimp cocktail, and just kind of partied. But I let him. The deal is like that he picks the movie, but cool. But the deal is that it has to be something that he's never seen.
Mm-hmm.
It could be old.
Yeah, it's not. I want you guys to watch this with me again because I've watched it 100 times.
Exactly. We'd end up watching the same thing over and over and over again. And it's not me saying like, no, it has to be Goonies from my childhood, and that's what we're watching. Nothing like that. He just has to pick it. Totally out of left field on this one. He's like, I want to watch the Mission Impossible series.
What?
Okay. Shit, I didn't even know you knew what that was. But all right. So we watched the original Mission Impossible from what,
I was gonna say, is
96?
that in like 96 or
95,
97?
96? Yeah. First of all, anyone that says Tom Cruise hasn't aged is very wrong. He's just got the best surgeons on earth. He definitely looks young as hell in this. And I had said to him when it first started, I'm like, now a lot of the neat gizmo technology stuff in this one might seem kind of silly and antiquated to you because this is 30 plus years ago now. And I give him credit. You know, he didn't like scoff at it or anything, but it definitely is showing its age. But there's still like fun, neat gizmos like the explosive stick of gum and things like that. But I was surprised. It actually held his interest. The plot is it can get a little muddled there.
Yeah,
And
from what I remember.
yeah, but it held his interest. And enough cool set piece transfers to I guess hold on to the interests. And I'm kind of excited to see if he wants to watch the rest of the series because once you got into the point where, like, say Simon Pegg was in it, what's that, Ghost Protocol?
Yeah,
I feel like they've caught up with modern times a little bit out of the '90s action oeuvre. I was just thinking, and I said something as much to my wife. Ving Rhames comes in and like joins the Mission Impossible crew in the first movie after a horrible accident in an elevator befalls Emilio Estevez, and as like the tech team hacker guy. Totally forgot he was in the series ever. He was actually pretty good too. And
are you ever going to show him the TV show
from the '60s?
Yeah, just for
I've never
giggles?
watched it.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's fine.
I can't even think of the guy's name now. That's pathetic. Legend.
John Voight.
Nah, well, John Voight was in it, but the other guy who was also played the judge in Rounders, and I'm a complete idiot. And his name would be Martin Landau. God damn.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
I don't even know how I got peeled off into that. He was the original guy, one of the guys in Mission Impossible, I think.
Yeah. Man of a Million Faces.
Yes. But anyway, Ving Rhames, and I have a theory here that he's like the luckiest guy in Hollywood. And has he really worked much outside of this franchise since the first one?
Gosh, maybe not in anything big.
Let's say like he got the role in MI because of Pulp Fiction, which, fair enough. They were around the same time. That's great. He must have looked at this as like, this is the golden ticket, because I was just saying to my wife, like, I don't think he's really done a whole heck of a lot else, but maybe he doesn't have to. I mean, I know for all his faults, Tom Cruise does make sure people that are good to him like get taken care of in the industry, and that goes from like grips all the way up. And so maybe he was just like, yeah, I can just come back and do one of these every 3 to 5 years and get a fat guarantee and live off residuals for the rest of my life, and that's all I have to do. Plus, he gets to be sitting down at a computer at every single scene that he's filming. It's not like it's a taxing role for him, and he's great in it. So I'm just curious, like,
it looks like he's been in a lot. Actually.
Has he? And
nothing good. Nothing
Ving Rhames
good.
is just on my periphery. Got it.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been in anything good, really, that I can see, but he actually has been in a lot.
Okay, fair enough. Then that answers that question.
He voiced Cobra Bubbles in Lilo and Stitch.
Love that.
Yeah, he was in, I'm just trying to see anything outside of the, he was in Con Air, which came out right after.
This we know, and wonderful in that, yes. But I mean, in the more in the last 20 or so years, he's getting on in years too. He shows it in the more recent MIs. He's looking a little older.
Yeah, but since 2015, he's been in probably 20 things.
Okay, but I don't know if maybe he just grabs projects that are easy, and like you just said, he just did a voice actor thing. I didn't know, but anyway, if that's the case,
Garfield movie.
Yeah, good for him on finding the best gig ever in a major franchise and just gets to show up every once in a while.
Oh, he was in The Wild Robot. I don't know how I totally spaced that.
Okay, so he does voice actor work, clearly.
Yeah, it looks like he does a lot of voice actor work. He does
there you go.
Do some acting work, but yeah, it looks like he's picked up quite a bit of voice acting work. He was also
I will say that my hypothesis has legs then.
Yeah, I'll go with it. He also voiced Jefferson Potts in Call of Duty World War II. So even a video game voice actor, Ving Rhames is a man of, many talents.
He's got a great like baritone voice.
Oh,
you can't
absolutely.
take that. So yeah. And then as the adult feature, we watched a movie called Driven.
I guess not the one you were supposed to watch.
Wyatt last week had assigned me a movie called Driven. This is not the 2001 Sylvester Stallone feature, though we will get to that, unfortunately, in Backlogbuster Brothers. I have some things to say.
Fortunately.
Driven was a 2019 movie about John DeLorean and his fun with the FBI and cocaine. Excuse me, it was 2018. Basically, this works as a Jason Sudeikis vehicle. So if you like him, you should be fine with it. If you find him incredibly annoying, you're probably not going to like the movie. But it's kind of like a biography comedy movie, I guess. It's, based on a true story, but we'll see how much of that you can really believe. I don't know. Most people are obviously familiar with John DeLorean from Back to the Future, the DeLorean.
Yep.
And I think have a vague idea that the car was kind of a failure on a lot of levels. And then famously, John DeLorean, while seeking financing to keep the company from going under, was involved with an FBI sting operation in a hotel room and a large amount of cocaine. My understanding was always kind of that it was kind of entrapment, and he was kind of this business guy looking to save his company, and it was really unfair what they had done to him. And I think this movie still shows that the FBI could be quite incompetent around the whole thing, and they just want their big score. But he was definitely what maybe was politely described as a dreamer at the time, but he's just he's the 80s version of a tech mogul egomaniacal douchebag. They show him early in the movie playing chess at a party, and he cheats. And, things like that. He's got a giant portrait of himself in his own home, and just believes a lot of his own BS, and survives off the story that when he was a kid, his dad took apart a whole car and laid it out on the lawn, and then piece by piece, he put that car back together, and that's what inspired him to go work for Pontiac, and it's all bullshit. It's all a complete fabrication.
You buried the lead here. You said it's a Jason Sudeikis vehicle, which I'm sure it is, but Lee Pace plays John DeLorean.
Yes, he does.
Lee Pace is amazing.
So actually, I'm not that familiar with him, so you could help me out there. Judy Greer was also awesome in this, by the way.
I've got a lot of Lee Pace stuff that you got to watch then, because that guy is fantastic.
I recognize him, but I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. He looks like a bit of a... He's obviously a character actor because he wears a lot of faces. Just in the 3 pictures on his Wikipedia, he looks completely different in all of them.
Yeah, no, he was in *Halt and Catch Fire*. He was basically the lead in that. Which
never seen it.
Okay, that's going to be a long-term Nick project, because that show is 1,000,000,000% up your alley.
Okay.
And that could be a wife show too. It's a fantastic. There's a 4-season series. It takes place back in the early 80s on the Silicon Prairie down in Texas. The explosion of tech and everything. And you have to watch it with a grain of salt or a little bit of suspension of disbelief, because this group of 6 to 10 characters are involved in almost every single tech explosion that happens from the early 80s to the early 90s, which obviously is very unlikely to have ever happened. But
yeah,
just everything about that show. That's a show I rewatch probably once every 3 or 4 years. Toby Huss is in it, Lee Pace, Scoot McNairy, Mackenzie Davis, who was in the new Terminator movie. Carrie Bechet. There's a lot of people in that show, and I know we're getting a little sidetracked from your movie, but Lee Pace, he was also in Pushing Daisies, which
I've never seen that either.
Yeah, that's another one I think you need to watch.
Looking at his credits, and it's like, okay, I know him from that, but I just didn't know him. Okay, he was Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep. He was Thranduil in the Hobbit trilogy, so he was
Yep.
the lead elf duder. Apparently he was in somebody in The Running Man that I just watched. He was Ronan the Accuser again in Captain Marvel, obviously.
Yeah, he's McCone in The Running Man. He's the hunter, basically.
Well, yeah, but he's wearing a mask the entire time.
He's
No
the
wonder I
main
didn't
bad guy.
recognize
Yeah,
him.
I think he takes the mask off at the end, right? When he
Okay, so
shows
yeah,
himself.
this very much like seems like a great character actor guy, but I was never that familiar with his back work, so I'll have to keep an eye out on him.
That's fair, but yeah, no, because I just quickly looked at the page and saw Lee Pace as John DeLorean, and I can imagine that he probably plays John DeLorean really well because he plays a smug asshole very well.
Yeah, so going back to him and Jason Sudeikis. Jason Sudeikis is the full Jason Sudeikis throughout this entire movie, not dialed up to Ted Lasso levels, but quippy, smartass, funny, kind of guy. So he plays a pilot who got busted transporting cocaine in the early 80s, and the federal government moves him coincidentally to a witness protection house next door to John DeLorean in a very nice neighborhood, with the idea that he's going to set up his old drug importer contact that is nearby, et cetera, et cetera. He ends up becoming friends with John DeLorean, and kind of it's left out in the open whose idea it really was to find this magical cocaine money, but the movie lets you make your own conclusions, and it's pretty obvious that DeLorean was not innocent of anything and knew full well what he was doing. It's just like unfortunate. And I had totally forgotten that the car had been made in Northern Ireland because it's the only place that he could get it financed, and the UK government actually put up like 100 million back in the early 80s to make it. And it was built like shit, and they made a ton of concessions on design, and was basically a lemon from day one. It got a really nice historical glaze job via the Back to the Future franchise. But it was always funny to me that 88 miles per hour was more than the speedometer even went up to in real DeLoreans. They were slow, they were heavy as shit, they were really unreliable, they would never start.
They were stainless steel.
Good
thing nobody ever did that again with a vehicle.
Well, I mean, they are not subtle in this movie about kind of maybe taking some jabs, but this is 2018, so it was a different time. But history repeats itself. But he's a shyster. He's just selling bullshit to people with money and getting away with it. And it was largely a grift, just completely driven by his own ego. They had found financing to save the company and keep the cars in production, and found $100 million, and he still did a coke deal for $30 million, or attempted to, so he could retain sole control. And that tells you a lot about, the motivations of these people. It's all about winning.
Never enough.
Yeah, well, it's just about getting over. It's about winning. They cannot allow themselves to take a loss, and that's how they would be perceived. It's all so ridiculous. But pretty damn funny, good kind of comedy, thriller, drama. It's not a great movie, but I had never heard of it before, and it just popped up when I typed in Driven, and I was like, oh, well, I'm more than happy to check that one out, along with your Sylvester Stallone movie.
This was just popped in my head when you were talking about the Back to the Future thing. Do you know what was supposed to originally be the time machine in Back to the Future?
I'm not sure that I do.
It was supposed to be a refrigerator.
In the script, it was a fridge? I think I maybe remember reading that.
And then they realized after talking about it that, wait a minute, this is a movie that a lot of kids are going to watch, and there's a lot of refrigerators that if you go inside it and you close the door, you're trapped in there. So we should probably change that to something else. But I feel like Back to the Future would have been a much different movie if it was a refrigerator time machine.
What would it be once this fridge gets down to 33 degrees? You're going to see some serious shit.
Where we're going, we don't need ice.
Oh, man, I don't have any Back to the Future drops.
But yeah, so I'm glad that you got to watch a Driven that you apparently enjoyed, because I have a feeling when we get into it, you probably didn't enjoy the other Driven as much.
If you head into it with the right mindset, I think there's fun to be had in 2026, and I'll leave it at that. But you were doing something even dorkier than a pinball league this week. I kid. Did you go and play board games?
I went and played a board game. I
A
did,
board
yeah.
game.
Yeah. Friday. I got a message from Jeremy over at Capital Pinball, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing Friday?" And I was like, "Well, working usually." And he's like, "Do you want to come work from the pinball club? We have a guy who's a member there. His name's Jason, and he's actually a board game designer. He's a graphic designer. He does like art for board games, but he also creates his own board games.
What a cool job. That's
yeah,
awesome.
right.
Good for him.
And he had this game, this company, which I guess I'm really not going to go too much into any of it because I don't know how much he wants to have put out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jason asked us if we wanted to come and play this game that he had access to that he was sent, and it's called Stars of Icarios. And I didn't know what the game was. I didn't even know the name of it. It was just, hey, you want to show up at 11 o'clock and we'll play for a few hours? I'm like, okay, sure. So we came and played this game, and I feel like I was really in a good mindset to play it because it made me think of Star Fox. And we know that
Okay.
the Star Fox remake is
Which you're currently
coming out in
hyped
a few
for.
weeks.
Yeah.
So the idea is it's a cooperative game. It's 1 to 4 players, and it's basically a dogfighting game. It's a role-playing dogfighting game in space.
This is
So-
tabletop, I assume.
Yes, I wouldn't say a TTRPG, but yes, it's a big box tabletop game.
Yeah.
So the idea is you have 1 to 4 people that can play. It was just 3 of us that were playing. You get to pick a ship that comes along with a pilot, which has its own little minifig that you can then put on the board. And there's a gigantic book that comes with the game. And this is basically set up to be played as a campaign. So it's meant to be played over many
Several
different
sessions.
So we started with the tutorial session, which makes sense because none of us had played the game yet. And so there's a book, and you essentially have your table master, I guess, the person that reads the book, and this is a scenario, you're trainees that end up in space and blah 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 blah, and as you're supposed to be going to a training mission, you guys get attacked by all of these people. And
Kind of your DM, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you go through that, and it's turn-based. You have your movement, your attack. The enemies are all trying to attack a satellite. You're trying to protect the satellite from multiple different enemies. It was a lot of fun. I don't get a chance to play board games so much anymore.
Nor I.
Yeah, we had probably close to 100 board games here at the house. And before COVID, we used to have people over every few months or so, and we'd play something, and it was a good time. Then COVID hit, and then just after that,
Everything
just never
splintered
picked up again.
Yeah.
So I donated a bunch of my board games to the pinball club. I think we have over 500 board games at the club now. Yeah. And
Not
it's
a cheap
awesome.
hobby either.
No. And it's not just like, Monopoly and Clue and Sorry.
Pictionary,
Like we have some pretty unique and some fairly expensive games that are there. But
I'm sure you have all the Settlers of Catan and and
Settlers,
the add-on packs.
Carcassonne.
The add-on packs, yeah.
Munchkin, all the different Munchkin expansions. We also have people brought in commander decks for Magic the Gathering. So there's just a bunch of decks of Magic the Gathering cards. So if you wanted to play some Magic and you didn't have cards or you didn't want to build a deck, you could just go ahead and grab those and go ahead and play. It's a really cool thing that the club has. It's not just pinball. I've said multiple times.
Well, a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, we got pinball, we've got a giant multicade, we got a bunch of different video game systems, board games. It's basically just a fun little clubhouse to go and pretend you're a kid again.
And you know this, man.
They've never been my thing hugely, but I think it's more of an intimidation about complex rule sets and things like that. But if I had a place to go with other people that are really excited about this thing and are more than willing to sit down with a newbie and hold my hand, as it were, that would make me a lot more inclined to join into something. So I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and we actually, I think it's every Wednesday night now. There's a board game night that's hosted, and you have a host that picks a board game that a majority of people probably have never played, and that's exactly what happens. If you want to play, you show up. The person that's hosting the board game usually has pretty good knowledge of the game. They teach you the game as it goes in, and then you go ahead and play a tutorial game or whatever just to show everything. And then once you're comfortable, you go ahead and you play the actual game. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, Stars Vicarios, there were some things about it that were definitely a little confusing, even for all of us having like our quick reference guides in front of us. Like just some graphic design things that were done with it that we were like, hey, if there's ever going to be another one made, like maybe this should be done differently. Like, but like
you guys
the
are
overall,
playtesters.
yeah. But overall, it was a fun experience, and I'm really excited that the three of us were like, should we set together some time again another time to continue this campaign? We're like, hell yeah, we should. So
Well, I think
it'll be nice. No, go ahead.
having the creator is not always like your option. Obviously, you're
Well,
very
he
lucky
didn't
in that regard.
create this. He didn't create
Oh,
this.
okay.
No. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, he did not create this. He didn't actually have any hand in this, but he was sent this to test for various reasons.
Oh, understood.
But yeah, so at some point we're probably gonna go ahead and play again, and it's fun to
Either way,
get
it's
sucked
like,
into another world.
yeah. Well, it's good. You had someone that knew the game and
Yes.
was probably enthusiastic about it. Whereas if it's four of us and just opening a box and having no idea what it is or how we get into it, kind of thing, the likelihood of saying, "Screw this, let's just go play pinball," is much higher than if you have someone showing you the ropes and getting you into this thing that they are excited to show you.
Yeah. And yeah, it was fun to spend, a Friday afternoon just playing a game with some friends. I would say Jason, maybe I'll get Jason to listen to the podcast. That was the first time I had met him, but he seemed like a great guy, and he was like, yeah, we should definitely get together and play some games again. I'm like, hell yeah, man. This was a blast. So,
Wyatt's making friends in middle age. Look at this.
Dude, you know how hard it is to make friends as an adult?
I found you.
That's because of the internet. That doesn't count. What? Oh, sorry, I got distracted by that. So do you want to talk about the new show you've watched? I've downloaded it and I have it on my list. I've had it before we started watching it. Or do you want to hop into topics?
Yeah, we can go straight into topics. That's fine, and we can definitely come back to that because I'd like to circle back when maybe you've seen some stuff.
Yeah, it'll probably be on my list this week. We're finishing up the final season of Hacks now, so we'll need.
I don't know that one either.
So yeah, I got a lot. I'm gonna have to make a list, Nick list.
I've never watched Mr. Robot either. None of the hacking shows apparently.
Jeez. Well, Hacks is about a comedian.
Oh, as in a hack. Got it.
Yes.
Not hacking. Yeah.
No.
Understood.
But yes, you also do need to watch Mr. Robot if you haven't watched that.
Rami Malek drives me nuts, man. And I think it's because they try and shoehorn him into roles after he won that Oscar that he was not appropriate for at all, and it just doesn't work. And
I think maybe you would feel if you go into it with an open mind. Like
everybody says he's much more suited to that role.
I was gonna say that is how I picture Rami Malek, and it is weird to see him in any other role after watching that because he plays Elliot so well that it's kind of wild. And I think you would enjoy it. Plus, Christian Slater's in it, and everyone loves Christian Slater.
He's having a bit of a resurgence. I like it.
Yeah. So Summer Game Fest, I believe, has wrapped up at this point, or maybe today's the last day. But we've got.
You're gonna have to help me on this because I have been doing stuff and I've seen very little other than I think the one major announcement. Tell me what you watched and what you're excited about.
Well, I've basically just been catching up on it on recaps because it's nothing that really, wholly
and who wants
me
to
anymore.
sit there for the full 2 hours?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so a couple fun things have been announced. You showed me the first one. If you want to go ahead and talk about
the next God of War game?
New God of War game, yeah.
Yeah, so the reboots, as it were, that started on PS4 saw you with Kratos and his son embarking on a mission to bury their mother, or the child's mother, Kratos' wife, at the top of Mount
Spread their ashes,
Yeah, and this is a continuation of that story. I'm not sure if it's a prequel of sorts or if it's in the now, but has something to do with her in the afterlife, and she is now your main protagonist, which, of course, all the neckbeards are probably having a fit about.
You haven't seen the blowback on that yet? Holy
I don't tune
crap.
into all that bullshit, man.
It comes across my skyline. Like, it's nothing I look into, but a lot of the neckbeards are mad that she is not hot enough
Herps are gonna derp, man.
Yeah,
I ain't got time for this shit.
Yeah, they posted, a side-by-side picture of the actual voice actress, who is a very attractive woman, and next to the character, who, for all intents and purposes, they look pretty much exactly the same. Except also, you're playing as a woman in her early 40s who just died, and you're now controlling her in the afterlife.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, so this game takes place essentially concurrently with the first game. So when you first play, when you first boot up God of War, the remake on PS4, the entire opening sequence is about Kratos, his wife Laufey, I believe is how her name is pronounced, dies and gives her basically, the Viking funeral, puts her on, a pedestal, covers her in flowers, and sets her on fire. And then as the opening of the new game starts, it's her spirit being taken into the afterlife. So basically, from what I see, at least the beginning of it, it's happening concurrently with the first game. You become her spirit in the afterlife after he sets her on fire and, releases her soul to ascend.
My wife is dead. She died in a field.
I mean, that's pretty fitting.
That fits the story, I think, right?
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. Did you sent me the video? Did you watch any of the gameplay video at all?
I scanned through it, I'll admit.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't want to watch 30 minutes of it because I kind of still like to be surprised about stuff.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like, here's the opening thing that you'll re-experience for an hour when you play the game. Fair enough. I guess that's what people need to see at this point. I just kind of scanned into the gameplay.
Yep. That's all I wanted to see was is it still God of War, or is it?
Yeah, it looks very God of War to me.
Yep, it's God of War.
Instead of blades on chains, she has a sword that's connected by some sort of something, and so she flings her sword around, and yeah, it looks like a variation on your standard God of War mechanics, and is beautiful, and I'm sure it'll have a great story, and yeah, I'm all in.
I still have not beaten Ragnarok yet, so I'm gonna have to get to that before I play this. Thankfully, I've somehow avoided any spoilers about how that game ends, so I've probably like 75% through the game, but I have this very terrible thing about me where I will almost complete just about everything, and then for some reason my neurodivergence makes it so I don't want to finish that, because once I finish it, it will be done.
Well, don't we have a segment that's supposed to work through those sorts of things?
Yeah. That's absolutely true. But so that was probably the biggest thing that I saw. The third installment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy has been given a loose release date. It's going to be coming out in spring of 2027, and it's actually going to be releasing on Switch 2, Xbox Series, and PS5 at the same time, which is
nice,
kind of cool, because the last two games definitely were not that way. The first one, I think it took 3 or 4 years to come out on Xbox and
I was going to say, was there a PlayStation exclusive window for those?
Yeah, the first one definitely was. The second one probably was an exclusive too, but I think this one, which will be really cool, because at this point it'll mean that anybody can play the trilogy to go. I know there's a few friends of mine that were like, I'm not going to play this until they release the entire game. So it'll be nice that they will have the chance to do that on whichever system they please.
How much is there? Is between the 3 games? Let's say that Final Fantasy VII was between like 40 and 80 hours.
Well, the first one I put to just beat the main story in the first game, I think it's like 25 to 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I put about 60 hours into the first game because I was enjoying it so much, and I wanted to do. There's a lot of side content.
Yeah, that was, I guess, my main question is each of these is a full RPG game in its own right.
Yes, saying that you're gonna wait for all 3 of them to come out and think you're gonna be able to play it the same amount that you played the original Final Fantasy VII isn't gonna happen. The second game, I'm probably about 45 hours into, and I'm only maybe 50% done. That was a fully open world game. The first one was a little more on rails inside Midgar and just going through the first disc of the game. The second one completely opens the world up.
And you saw shiny things everywhere and got distracted.
Yep, and I still haven't finished that either. So thankfully, I do have a deadline to know that if I want to play the third game, I need to have this beaten by next spring, which should happen. And so the third game is called Final Fantasy VII Revelation. which sticks along with the re-theme, remake, rebirth, and revelation. It looks, for what we've seen, like a Final Fantasy VII remake game. I'm gonna play it. I know there's a lot of people that don't exactly like how it went from a turn-based RPG into like an action RPG style. I enjoy it, but I think it'll be fun.
I can see where people would get upset and they just wanted a fresh coat of paint on the classic formula, but I think it's fine. They had to do something, keep it fresh, keep it new. I probably would have preferred something more classic, but I have Expedition 33 and Sea of Stars for that.
Yeah, and the thing is that I think the big thing that people that don't like it for is, and this isn't really a spoiler, but if you haven't played them and you think that this might spoil something from you, jump ahead, a minute. But this is a reimagining of Final Fantasy VII, so this isn't a beat for beat remake of the story. It's the same characters, and let's just say it's an alternate universe, basically, of what's happened.
It's a reboot.
And that plays into it. Like, it acknowledges the original game, but also says, hey, maybe there are alternate universes where different things happen. And some people really didn't like that because, like you said, they just remembered playing Final Fantasy VII back in the mid-90s, and they want that to look like a PS5 game, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine, but trying to actually recapture magic from your childhood it's a fool's errand, folks. It is because it hit you at that time and made such an impression on you. You can't go back to being 13 again and hearing the artist that made you fall in love with music. It's not going to happen. So who cares? It's fine. And if you don't want it, don't play it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Another game that I saw was announced, which I don't know if it was necessarily a huge announcement, but I think going along with our Motorsports June theme is a very cool announcement. I actually linked to it. I don't know if you clicked on the link here. It's called Clutch. It is made by a group of former Forza Horizon devs.
Okay.
It's an open world story driven racing game that takes place in France, and there was a trailer for it that kind of explains a little bit of the story and shows off, what the game's supposed to be, and it looks pretty damn cool.
What is it as opposed to being Forza Horizon kind of thing? I guess I have to ask.
Forza Horizon is just a giant sandbox.
Yeah.
And, there's a story in Forza Horizon, but it's not a story-driven game. Mm-hmm. You're going around, you're doing races to collect badges or to collect stamps on your thing says that, oh boy, you are the best for Forza Horizon person, and then you just keep doing stuff. This is actually like a story-driven game where the goal is to, win this big race. There's a whole lot of, I'm trying to, so I'll just read this quick, paragraph here. So the studio debuted a story trailer and details how the characters find themselves straddling a trio of different worlds, including professional circuit racing at nighttime, underground street racing scene, intense high-speed pursuits and getaways, with a script by Scottish TV writer J.B. Britton, who's the co-creator of the British teen drama Skins. Clutches the story of Theo Marshall and his younger sister Cass. With the guidance of his adoptive father Ludo, Theo was a star driver in the revered Riviera 1000 racing tournament, the R1K. For the purposes of Clutch, that's the most prestigious event in all motorsports, and Ludo's a former champion. There's tragic action on the track, and current custodian George McBride plans to introduce new technology to prevent fertilization. So it's essentially like there's actually a story here that's going to be played. It's not just a story as a crutch. Like, this is story first. And Peter what the heck's the guy's name? Or how do you pronounce his last name? Sarah Finowitz, the guy from Shaun of the Dead who plays Sean's roommate.
Oh, okay, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's in it. He plays the custodian of the race. But yeah, there's a lot of like good actors in this, and if you get a chance to watch the trailer, I think you'll be excited.
So it's like a story first car adventure versus a car first with stories, cutscenes slapped on top, like in Forza Horizon kind of. Yeah, Skins was a really big series in the UK when it was on. That's like where Dev Patel got launched, and a lot of people, I think.
So actually, they describe it as a cinematic open world action driving game. So yeah, cinematic, I guess, would be the word that ties it in, because obviously Forza Horizon is just it's a sandbox game where you get to play with all the toys that you really want to play
Yeah,
with.
it's a playground. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's cool to see that some of the former Forza devs are on this, and I'm curious to see where it goes. There were a few other things that were announced. There was
what is this Tupac shit, man? Everybody's mad. Let the man be dead, for God's sakes.
So you're in my favorite studio, RGG, the developers of the Yakuza series.
Ryu Gyota or whatever it is. Yeah, sorry.
See, now you know why I said RGG.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Yes, so it's the new Yakuza game that's coming out. The God, of course, if I was smart, I would have actually
done research.
Yeah, well, I did the research. You
did the research.
Yeah, Stranger Than Heaven is the name of the new game.
The holes just appear in our brain during the recording. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, it's fine. And so the new game, basically, it's a 50-year saga that takes place between the 20th century, going from like 1915 to 1965. So you may ask yourself, why are Tupac and Snoop Dogg going to be in this game? I don't have an answer for you, but I'm just saying you may ask yourself.
Oh, okay.
Why? But yeah, so apparently Tupac is in the game and Snoop Dogg is in the game. A lot of people are confused. I'm probably among those.
Sounds like a just because they could doesn't mean they should type of situation.
Someone had access to Tupac's, name, image, and likeness, and went, you know what, this would go really well. Yakuza game.
I mean, obviously, whoever has control of his estate makes the decisions, but you have to wonder if now that this is a reality, as certainly opposed to when Pac died, are artists and actors and things going to have like strict likeness and voice rights and things like that provisions tied into like their will? So as to say, once I beef it, I don't want to see myself popping up in the next GTA game or something.
Yeah, I think they have to. I mean, especially, with the rise of, these voice technologies where they can clone your voice. I mean, James Earl Jones, I think he lent his voice to Disney and said that his voice can be used in perpetuity for Star Wars stuff. So you're still going to hear, I think it's going to have to be something that, actors are going to need to be more careful with.
I mean, you could
spell out what they want.
Yeah, you could feed a couple Pac CDs in a movie into any AI at this point and reproduce an entire game's worth of dialogue in his voice. I mean, how would he feel about that? Probably not great.
Probably not. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there's some.
Why is it always Pac? Why is it always Pac? It's
because he's not dead.
He's the hologram on stage now before this technology really even has any legs, and he's this, and it's always him releasing new stuff from beyond the grave, and it's so weird.
Well, that's because Pac's not dead. I think that's the major twist here. This is how we find out that Pac's actually alive, and he's like, I want to be in this game.
I hope he comes back. We could use a dose. Guy that could actually rap, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, God. Yeah. There were some other things. The Last Ronin was announced. I don't have it on here. That is the graphic novel done
Raphael,
by...
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Oh, cool. They're making a game out of that? Dope.
Yep. Yeah, the last Ronin. It's going to be... I think it was announced, I feel like, 2 years ago, and they played an announcement trailer 2 years ago being like, this is going to be a game. And then they basically just did the same exact thing at Summer Game Fest. And it was like, hey, this is still going to be a game. It's going to be done by Platinum Games, which tells me it's going to be a fun game.
You have to refresh my memory on who they are, too.
They did Bayonetta, Nier Automata,
very cool.
Astral Chain. Yeah, they do like the hack and slash kind of like, I would say Devil May Cry-esque games.
Sure. That formula.
Yeah, so they did Ninja Gaiden 4. But yeah, the Bayonetta series is probably what they're most well known for. So yeah, they're in charge of this, and apparently it's going to follow the story of The Last Ronin, which if you haven't read that, I would highly suggest it. I blew through those very quickly when they came out, and I thought it was super well done.
I have
Eastman and
not read it.
Laird's-
I did just find my original Turtles Kevin Laird graphic novel in a bin where all my comics were from when I was a kid, and it had my original Xbox that I thought was lost to the move.
Is that where you found
many years ago? Yeah, this tub has been taped up forever, and I was like, oh, it's just comics and shit. And buried beneath those comics and shit was a wrapped up original Xbox that I apparently took great care in packing, and then figured was lost to the ages because it wasn't packed in with all the other video game collection stuff. So I found
happy to see your
comics
packing styles
and
like
an
mine.
Xbox. Oh yeah, random. Tetris.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll fit in there. Put it in there.
Yeah, it'll fit. We need to move. I don't want to figure out some other place, but I'll remember I put it here because I specifically put it
you
here.
You always tell yourself that. Yep. And I will make a mental note that that's where this went. And then you unpack and forget about everything.
Yeah, welcome to my life. I still have, I'm still missing stuff that I'm sure I still have that I just have not found the box.
Oh
that
yeah, I
it
mean, I
was
think
in
you've
yet.
had a similar problem even with an Xbox, just a different generation of Xbox,
My
right?
Series X. I know that I brought it with me.
It's somewhere.
I think we talked about it. Yeah, I had it up in the loft because we had, some stuff packed away in there. And we lived here. When did I find it? Probably when I started moving the stuff down here to the basement a couple months ago. So I was here for 7 months until I finally started moving stuff. And I was like, oh, it's literally just sitting in the corner over here where I probably am like, oh yeah, I'm going to put it here for now. And then I'm going to move it and then I'll set it up.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it was a mental thing, I think, for me too. Like, now that we've finally settled enough that I can unpack everything, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, in 2020, I moved from Baltimore to San Diego into a rental house that my wife's employer put us in. Then we moved into a condo in San Diego, and then moved here to the Chicago area to a rental house before eventually spending a year refurbing this place that was a crack den. And now we live here. So yeah, there's been a lot of living out of tubs for the last 5 to 6 years of my life and moving around. So it's nice to, I think that may have been the last mystery tub.
Happy to see that you finally got that figured out.
How we got here from Tupac appearing in games, I'm not sure, but
that's what we do.
Well, it's Xbox.
Yeah. To quickly, since we're on the topic of video games, Amazon Games is going to ruin another gaming franchise, which I think is exciting.
What was the last one they ruined?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look at this article. I should say ruined. They've tried booting like 3 or 4 different games with their Amazon Games studios, and they've all flopped.
Yeah, I know that they had their hands in the amazing
Crucible, King of Meat are two of the ones that they tried making.
I think they tried to do a MMORPG and spent some obscene amount of money on it, and learned what Kurt Schilling learned, kind of thing.
Yep. So Amazon owns the rights apparently to James Bond.
Yeah,
they've acquired the rights.
Well, no, Amazon owns MGM.
They own MGM. Amazon MGM. That's what it was. Yeah. So IO Interactive, who are the people that made the Hitman games and who have made 007 First Light, they were already making the game before this deal went through. So apparently they were still able to go ahead and
finish their project.
Yeah, which it has been, from what I've seen, a incredible success. People are really enjoying the game. It has some DLC that's going to be coming out soon, starring Lenny Kravitz for some reason. Again, I'm not really sure why.
We'll get into my hatred of Lenny Kravitz another day.
But the GM of Amazon Gaming, Jeff Gaddis, said that they are going to be making any further James Bond games. That IO Interactive will not be making the game. They will be taking it over, moving on to any newer games. And I think that's quite depressing because we got a current James Bond game that has been great. Amazon doesn't have a good track record.
Yeah, this goes back to the rant last week about not being loyal to anything that you like. Well, at least we got this game, and it's good. And if they decide to shoot themselves in the foot, that would be par for the course. But this sounds like, and you can correct me, that IOI Interactive or whatever the company is, the dev, are remaining a independent
Yes,
company.
IO has not been. IO's.
So forgive me for saying, like, while I'm upset that they don't have a guaranteed project and payday in their future, at least they're not beholden to their new corporate owner overlords who are like, yeah, we're just going to dissolve the entire company because we don't need you.
Yeah, well, IO is never any part of an acquirement or an acquisition by Amazon itself.
But they
Yeah,
own the
were-
rights to the project you're developing, so nothing you
Right.
could do. Yeah.
Right. And it looks like as of yesterday, which I guess I should have opened this yesterday, there was an update to the story, and Amazon came and said, Amazon MGM holds the rights to any future James Bond video games, but it's still too early to discuss future projects. We have a great relationship with IO Interactive and are proud of what we've accomplished together on 007 First Light, which it's pretty cool that they're proud of something that they accomplished together, which I'm sure they had absolutely nothing to do with. Our partners at IO will reveal more about 007 First Light in the near future, and we're looking forward to sharing what's next, which doesn't say anything about future games. So it basically is a statement that releases nothing and essentially goes along with what the article is talking about, that any future 007 games are probably not going to be done by IO Interactive.
Such is the way of the world these days. I don't understand totally, and I'm an idiot, so that adds up, the role of publishers in the modern game ecosphere.
I'm with you then.
time was that you took your product to a publisher who then entered an agreement with you to take this thing that you developed and produce copies of it to distribute to retail and use their retail connections to get your game on store shelves. That's why they existed, to put it in people's hands. Why does that still need to exist? If I, as a solo dev, can just throw something on Steam, why can't these big companies self-publish games? Because the publishers are paying for the entire development, I guess? I don't know.
That would probably be it. It's probably the absorption of development costs, and that is the trade-off, is, the publisher will go ahead and front X amount of development costs, but then they get to publish it.
They're movie producers.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're beak wetters.
That's exactly what it is. So I actually, I say that it's received a lot of press and a lot of people have enjoyed it, which they have. That's factual. I'm still on the hold list at the library for the game, so I haven't had a chance to actually play it myself, but I think I am actually next on the list, so I should be able to play it here soon, which is exciting.
My hope for this game is that enough people are worried about this that they abandon their place in line in the queue for Ghosts of Yotai, so I can finally play that.
Are you still waiting for that?
Yeah,
that game was a lot of fun.
Only has one copy, so yeah, it's been on my list for a while.
Damn. Yeah, no, I got my 3 weeks with it. I didn't get a chance to finish it in the 3 weeks. And I will probably toss myself back on the hold list for that. So
well, the thing is that there's the policy goes that you're allowed at least one automatic renewal on the 2 or 3 week rental of a video game, and when you're a new hot title, yeah,
everybody renews it.
Yeah, exactly. So that it can make it pretty easy for that backlog to stretch quite a bit. But I'm happy to be patient for free.
Yeah, I think for in-demand new titles, you get 3 weeks, no renewals.
See, that's a fair compromise if it's, within the first 6 months of release or something like that.
And but I think if it's a new release game and nobody has put it on hold by the end of it, I think you can renew it for another 2 weeks once.
But if there's no one in line behind you, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
And the other idea is, which I've done a couple times, is you can return it and then come back the next day, and if nobody has checked it out, you can just check it out for another 3 weeks again. Go visit your libraries. Libraries are awesome.
Libraries rule.
Like Nick and I are just talking about, you can get more than just books from your library. You can get movies, you can get video games, you can get board games, you can get a metal detector from your library. If you're
Library of the Things are amazing. Mine even has like a lawnmower you can borrow if you need it.
Yeah, mine has so much weird stuff. I was browsing the Library of Things a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, this is so friggin' cool.
Oh, there's so many things where I'm like, that is random that someone would want to borrow that versus just getting one. But at the same time, that's awesome that they have that available if you need that. I mean, tools, recording equipment.
Money.
Yeah. No, totally. Like I can go get podcast equipment borrowed from the library if I wanted to.
That is so. Yeah. I mean, at some point we just need to do an entire episode.
Worship
on
library
libraries.
episode. Oh, yeah. I'm down all day. Yeah.
Well, we can go to our prospective libraries and talk to the people at the libraries and get them out there. But yeah. So yeah, libraries are great. IO Interactive is amazing. Amazon sucks. That's basically the roundup there. We don't have a whole lot to talk about on this, but I mentioned it, and we might as well poke at it.
Wait. Would you say that that Amazon MGM are your chump of the week?
Oh, I was actually going to say someone else was going to be my chump
Oh,
of
go
the
right
week,
ahead then. I didn't know if you were missing that.
No. I mean, we can go ahead and, you know what? Screw it. That makes more sense. I'm a little more heated about that than who my actual chump of the week is going to be. So yeah, Amazon Gaming, you're my chump of the week.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chumps.
Very quickly, like I said, The Critics being rebooted, the John Lovitz animated series from 98.
Is it confirmed now?
According to this article, it's going to happen. Contracts are being signed. John Lovitz, I don't believe, has signed on yet.
He's kind of clutch for that whole thing to happen.
Yeah. It sounds like he's very interested in it. Let's see. I'm looking at the article right here. The funny thing about this is the article misspells John's name. John Lovitz is Jon, and in the quote, I don't know if Al Jean said it. I don't know if it was written or spoken, but it says, "The hurdles are past with me making my deal," says Al Jean, who's one of the creators of the show. John definitely wants to do it, but his deal isn't closed. That's the honest, very, very up to the minute fact. I'm sure he'll do it, although I can't say I'm absolutely 100% sure, but I'm confident that this deal will close. It's never been closer to actually happening. Have you watched it recently? I actually did a rewatch of it probably a year ago.
Yeah, it was probably around the same time. Not all of it, but tune in here and there kind of thing. And now it comes on my live TV stations that I set up for myself. It's just as wonderful as ever. It's dated in so much as it exists very much in that 90s world, but the characters are still just as great. His boss is like the Ted Turner Duke guy is still wonderful.
I would be excited to see this come back. I hope that it would be hand-drawn animation, but hand-drawn animation isn't really done anymore, as we've seen with King of the Hill.
I was just gonna say, if they got it within King of the Hill's new style, I'm perfectly fine with that. I was happy with that.
It weared on me less the more I watched it.
I'd rather have it as a thing than not have it at all.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So my guess is it would probably be done similar, the same way. But yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot of meat on this bone, but it was just published recently that, it's been in discussion. Originally it was on ABC for a season, got canceled, then I think Fox brought it back for a year, and then it got canceled again.
It was like controversial at the time.
Oh, it was.
And I guess some of the jokes were a little too much.
Yeah, for anyone that isn't familiar with this, because we probably have some younger viewers that aren't old and curmudgeon-y like us. The Critic followed John Lovitz, who played Jay Sherman. He was basically like a Siskel and Ebert kind of movie critic. He was famous for hating just about every single movie that he ever watched. And they were usually parodies. Yes, it was. I'm surprised I don't have that drop.
I don't.
It essentially parodied film.
And the self-seriousness of both the film industry and the critics on the other side, reviewing the things.
And it followed him. He was this very successful movie critic, but he was very unsuccessful at just about every other thing in his life. He had a son. He was a single dad. He loved eating. It was about him, trying to find love in New York, and his crazy family and his boss. And it was done by two of the guys from The Simpsons. So it's in the same.
One of the best crossover Simpsons episodes ever, too.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, it stinks. Yeah, so for anyone that's not familiar, I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere. It Maybe
I
it
don't
is?
believe so. I don't know.
I feel like it's probably something that someone may have tossed up on YouTube for free, because that seems to happen with those old 90s shows.
I always loved John Lovitz actually as a kid in like High School High, SNL, and this show. And he was only endeared to me further when I found out he beat the living shit out of Andy Dick in his own
Yep.
bar after Phil Hartman's wife killed him.
Yep.
Andy Dick is a world class piece of shit and
Yeah.
deserves everything bad in his life. So yeah, John Lovitz, he rules.
Yeah, so like I just said, it looks like someone's uploaded, I'm gonna guess, a majority of the catalog of The Critic. So just
On
go
the
YouTube.
tubes.
Yep,
Yeah.
just search The Critic full episode on YouTube, and you can go ahead and check that out. I think that brings us through our topics. And do you need a pee break, or since you hit one before we
No,
started,
I'm
are you
solid,
good?
man. I'm rolling with a golden bladder these last few recording sessions. I'll tell you what.
You're killing it. All right, let's go with Nick's favorite drop. Let's start Backlog Buster Brothers.
It is indeed that time.
Nick,
Yes, sir.
tell me about Driven.
Driven is not the one I watched earlier this week, but earlier in the week I watched the Sylvester Stallone 2001 vehicle Driven. It wasn't as bad as I perhaps expected that it would be, and I actually found it kind of charming. This is the most formulaic movie you'll ever see. Give you, I guess, a broad strokes. This will shock everyone. Sylvester Stallone is the old everyman driver who left his career in the past and has a checkered history of being a dangerous part of the formula on the racetrack, and he's been pushed to the side. And there's a new young up-and-comer that's working to find his confidence, but just had an accident, and we have to fight against the evil European champion who does nothing but win, but his life's also falling apart, and it's the dude from Inglourious Bastards and SLC Punk, whose name escapes me, but he's German. Perfect for the role. And you can fill in. You may have been familiar with this movie prior to assigning it outside of just being mean. I don't know.
Dude, I haven't watched this movie since 2001.
Okay,
Yeah, 2001, 2002. So
it's very like it's very of its time, man. It could have been Michael Bay in scenes. Like there's the race day scenes where it's all like the cool cuts and like here's the hot girl here's the hot girl leaning over that car, and here's the dudes in sunglasses walking away from that car, and that one's doing a peel around that corner, and all very set to horrible early 2000s rock music. I don't know what you want me to say, man. It's very of its time. If you're an F1 fan, you would probably find infinity things to be offended about. I don't really care about the sport that much. I found it amusing. There is a kind of end of Act 1 major crash that occurs where the car flies into about 1 billion pieces, and it is the most PS2 looking computer animation that you've ever seen in your entire life, which at this point I only find endearing. It's kind of like watching The Scorpion King.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what you expect it to be. The girl in it is blonde Megan Fox type, totally unrealistic that probably she would have any connection to the world of racing, but ends up being like this wild undercurrent in the story. And if you were alive back then and you never saw this movie, you were probably in the same camp as me. And if you watch it now, I think there's more to be enjoyed than there was 25 years ago.
I will say one thing, and this
Shoot.
is, I guess it's a correction, but
Yeah.
whatever. So actually, this is Formula Kart. It's not Formula Kart is a thing. Formula One. Sylvester Stallone originally wanted to base this on Formula One racing,
Mhm.
and he actually tried getting in touch with Formula One teams, but Formula One race teams are like famously super secretive about everything they do, so they would not tell him anything or work with
Right,
him
because
at
of the
all.
whole industrial espionage
Yeah.
between teams and all that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So he pivoted and went to Formula Kart because they were a little more.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that this movie had 100% of my attention, and I may have slightly dozed off during its first attempt, so I did have to break it into multiple sessions. But it's actually kind of cool. I think I texted you when I was first watching it.
Yeah.
Like I was very confused. Like, where is this supposed to be taking place? Because I keep seeing these city sky shots, and well, that one clearly they're in Canada. And now that okay, and then we're on Race Tour. Got it. Yeah. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, I do like that dude that kind of plays the heavy. He's always great in everything he's in. He was hysterical in SLC Punk. But he only kind of just shows up in random things throughout the years. I think he's had a fairly successful character actor, I guess, career. But I remember seeing him when I saw Inglourious Bastards and been like, oh yeah, where the hell's he been for the last decade?
I feel like you didn't mention the best character in the entire movie.
Shoot.
Burt Reynolds, man.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you led into that last week with like it has Burt Reynolds, and he's the team owner, race chief guy. I don't have a bad thing to say. He plays Burt Reynolds.
He's awesome,
and I thought he was great. Yeah, honestly, he's very likable. And if you're down with Smokey and the Bandit type Burt Reynolds, this is more of his Boogie Nights mild career resurgence that he saw. By the way, he was fucking fantastic in that movie. Anybody that has anything bad to say about the man, they can't not give him that performance. But yeah, he plays Burt Reynolds, and if you're an enjoyer of Burt Reynolds, it's fine. But that's very much like the setup in the movie is like, yeah, he's the owner, and it's like, I'm gonna have to go back, get Stallone, promise myself I would never do it, that kind of thing. Bring him in.
Tonto.
He's gonna teach the kid. We'll do what we never did, man. Yeah, it's all of that, and I'm fine with it. It's a good bad movie. Fun bad movie. Yeah.
I think yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's a fun, stupid movie. It got critically absolutely panned.
As it probably should have.
Yes,
but I mean, was this one of the greatest sins of Stallone in that era? Not even close.
No. And yeah, Stallone was super pumped because I believe he wrote this too. He
wrote a lot of things.
Yeah. He wrote Rocky. Sylvester Stallone. How old is he now? He's got to be 80 something.
Got to be close to 80. Yeah.
He's 79. He'll be 80 on July 6th. Yeah, so
I'm sure he'll get himself a brand new face and head for his 80th.
God, I'm looking at his screen. Someone needs to give him a better photo on Wikipedia.
That dude will continue down the plastic surgery road for as long as he goes, I think. If you ever looked at Mama Stallone, I think it's a family trait.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, sorry, I got confused by Stallone's face. And
I need to get some good Stallone drops, just some good stuff.
All right, so you're gonna say it wasn't a waste of time. It was better than you thought it was going to be based on.
It was like one of those things where I was, going into it thinking it was gonna be like, here's a nice piece of shit, and God, Wyatt's done it to me again. But if you don't take it seriously and look at it as a fun bad movie, it was actually a good time, especially as a product of its time.
Yes, I mean, like you said, it came out. We're watching it. Or you're watching it, and I might watch it at some point now because it's been 20-something years. This was 25 years ago. And I think, once you have the distance between when it came out to now, you're not investing, money in a movie ticket to go see it in theaters. You're not, wasting your precious 2-night rental at the video store to watch it. Like
but that was a thought. Yeah. It's like, that was the worst thing ever. When you're like, Christ, I wasted the Friday movie rental on this. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like, it's very low stakes for us.
Absolutely.
So, what did you give me?
I told you to play some Forza Horizon 6, which I have barely had the chance to do. So I hope you got some in.
I did. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I really don't. It's Forza Horizon. It's Forza Horizon in Japan instead of being in 5 in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, and you lost your Scirocco, what I assume was a
Yep.
turbo diesel Scirocco, probably, right?
No, it was just nice 16 valve. See, the fun thing is for me
Yeah.
is I usually keep the cars, like my cars, I keep them stock. So I drive around this slow ass, Volkswagen Scirocco, and for whatever reason they took it out of the game, man. That was the biggest sin. They took that out, but they added the 1982 Rabbit pickup truck, which is one of my dream cars. So, it was fun to be able to have that with the top speed of 62 miles per hour driving
I'm sure
around the map.
they'll get rid of that one just as soon as they figure out that, once again, Wyatt's the only one playing this car.
Oh, exactly. I probably am. But it's fun. It's a sandbox racing game where you just do dumb stuff. It's not.
It is kind of more of the formula. Either you're for it or you're not, kind of thing. And
I don't enjoy
I like
unskippable cutscenes. That's what I did not enjoy.
What's the point? What's the point? Like, I understand people worked on it and they're proud of their work and they're animating and the voiceover and all this stuff, but I'm the player, and if I don't want to watch this, I don't want to watch it. And I've never understood the point of non-skippable cutscenes.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but I've been playing a little bit of NBA 2K26 because it was free on Game Pass, and I was like, I haven't played an NBA game in a while. And I've always enjoyed playing basketball games, so I started up a franchise mode. And there are so many, like every halftime, you have to listen to a little bit of an interview with the coach. Then it goes to the halftime show. Then it goes, and like you have to wait like 10 seconds for each thing just to skip to the next scene. There's no way to just there's no way to skip the halftime show. You call a timeout. You aren't able, like, it starts to show the cheerleaders on the court that start doing their dance or whatever. And then you have to wait like 8 seconds to be able to skip through the timeout. And it's like, I don't know. It's always annoyed me just, keeping your players hostage.
Well, I mean, yeah, realism is one thing, and presentation is certainly a thing, but then if you're impacting my fun by forcing this on me, what's the point? Like, NFL 2K5 had the super cool ESPN presentation with Chris Berman and everything, but those were definitely skippable. And if you just hit A, it would just screen wipe the ESPN logo back, and then you'd be back in the game. That's all you had to do.
And I mean, I could be out of turn, and maybe there's a setting somewhere in 2K26 where I could find to shut it off, but I didn't see anything.
Well, let me ask you this. They're famously advertising heavy games. Are those, breaks during presentation also showing you an ad for Mountain Dew on the side of the court or something?
The timeout does show an ad for Gatorade.
There you go.
So, yeah, I guess you got to get that advertising money in there.
Just guaranteed placement. Player can't skip it.
But like MLB The Show, I'm able to turn on like fast play mode. Like even if I don't want replays, if I don't want, to watch the batter walk up, if I don't want to watch the certain things, if I don't want to watch the pitcher, watch the catcher throw the ball back to the pitcher, then get back into, step on the rubber, like that. They've been very good about like fast play. You can enable fast play and then you can just go like pitch, and go. But anyway, back to Forza Horizon 6, like it's more the same. If you've ever played a Forza Horizon game or an open world racing game like The Crew, I mean, this is definitely better than The Crew and The Crew 2, even though I enjoyed those quite a bit.
Never played them.
They're fun. Well, you can't play The Crew 1 anymore, and The Crew 2 might also have been shut down at this point.
Of course.
Yeah, because that's what the world we live in.
Hey, Europe and California got moving legislation on stop killing games, though. So good work, those people. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope that can become an actual thing that sticks for everybody. It's Forza Horizon 6. It's fun. I enjoy more driving the cars that I own than I do having like all the supercars. But
yeah, I'm right on the same page with you there. I'd have more fun with my souped up Oldsmobile Cutlass than I do a any type of supercar, Pagani or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I got nothing else. So why don't we move on to assignments? You owe me something to watch. I owe you a game.
Yep.
What am I watching, Nick?
So this is I'm kind of taking this probably a bit beyond the original thought of motorsport, but I think it qualifies. You are going to watch a documentary that was kind of near and dear to my heart because of its connection to the city of Baltimore. and our culture that is, for better or worse, fanned out across cities across the nation. You are going to watch the 2013 documentary film 12 O'Clock Boys.
All right, hit me with it.
You're not familiar with this at all?
Nope, I know nothing.
Okay, so this was a fantastic documentary that I really enjoyed, distributed by Oscilloscope Laboratories, who did our kitchen documentary that we enjoyed so much, I Like Killing Flies.
Done by MCA from the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I know that you were going to make that connection, but I preferred it. So 12 O'Clock Boys, it follows the Baltimore tradition on Sundays of the dirt bike and four-wheeler pack go rolling around the city of Baltimore. And usually to the ire of the police force. It's kind of a cultural thing that grew up and has become very much a point of contention within the city and what should be done with it. And since the years where this kind of took off in the early 2000s in Baltimore, it spread out to Philly and then all over to other cities. Probably not a great thing, but there's a lot to follow in this, and you're following throughout this movie 3 years in the life of this kid named Pug. And it's basically him from I think 11 to 14 or 15, and the goings on in his life, and basically how he connects everything through his love for the scene, the 12 O'Clock Boys. They actually made a feature movie kind of based on this with Meek Mills. It was pretty good. But I'll leave you to watch this and kind of learn a little bit more maybe about my city. Because it was definitely
Can I pause
a
for
big
1
thing.
second?
Sure.
I saw something that someone brought up about Baltimore this week, and I've never heard of before. And since you were raised there, I can't tell if I'm being trolled or if this was actually a thing.
Fair enough.
Did you ever have lemon stick growing up?
Absolutely. That is a Baltimore institution. It's a peppermint stick jammed into half a lemon. Yeah.
Is that literally all it is?
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to try that. It just seems
so that was
random.
I didn't know until probably I think it was on the internet a few years ago that was a thing that was local to Baltimore. That was just a normal thing when I was a kid. You went to an event and they had lemon sticks. Yeah, and the idea being that the peppermint stick that you jam into a half of a fresh lemon is like a straw, and
you suck the lemon out.
Yeah, the citrus from the lemon kind of weirdly complements the peppermint, and you just kind of walk around with it at the Ren Fair or the State Fair or wherever you're at.
I'm gonna have to try that. Aaron from Gracie's Ice Cream down in the Boston area. He was making a lemon stick ice cream, and he was talking about how it was only in Baltimore, and he likes to make hyper regional things from in Boston from other places that people haven't
man
had.
Of culture that you get your ice cream from. I appreciate this guy.
I thought it was just very interesting because I had never heard of it, and you were my connection to Baltimore, so I filed that away, and I was like, I need to ask Nick about this, and thankfully you just brought something up about Baltimore, so I was able to ping my brain.
Yeah, lemon sticks are real, and certainly easy enough to recreate at home. It's a poor man's summer treat. There's no doubt. I mean, snow cones are a huge part of Baltimore tradition too, but yeah, lemon sticks have always been around for sure.
Huh. Well, thank you for telling me about that.
Yeah. So watch this movie. I think you'll find a lot to be interested about. It speaks to a lot of socioeconomic things, and you're kind of watching this kid's home life, and great watch.
I love documentaries.
It's about things with motors that go vroom, so I figured it counts.
I will allow it.
Yeah.
I will allow it. So I told you what I was going to assign you, and I'm gonna rug pull that because I just wanted to scare you into making you.
No, I mean I'm fine with it, man. I think it's fun if I could do 3 drivens in a week.
I may assign it to you before the end of the year, but I want to give you something that I just started playing last night, and I was curious to get your take on it.
Dope.
So I'm gonna have you play I think it came out maybe early release last year, and I think it has a full release this year. Outbound. You've probably seen.
You can't do that.
You've probably seen ads for it. or if you saw the title screen, you'd be like, "Oh yeah." So the idea of this is it's basically a cozy survival game.
Okay.
You have your camper van, one that
Oh
looks
yeah, that game.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's on Game Pass, so I figured you'd be able to just fire it right up.
So
Uh,
before we go any further, I just have to point out the real shocker that you would assign me a game that looks to be based around Vanagon life.
Yeah. Well, I saw it and I was like, I gotta play this. I've heard a lot about it. People have tagged me in posts about this game for the last year or so because they see a late 60s, early 70s style, definitely supposed to be a Volkswagen camper van without the Volkswagen logo on it because,
I'm surprised they got away with as much as they have because the only thing that looks like it's missing is the VW badge on the front.
Yeah. I will say I think you have 3 or 4 vans or buses that you can choose from. So if you decided you did not want to have a Volkswagen van, you could also have, it looks like a 80s Chevy van. And I think there's like a minibus that you could also use
if there's an Astro van option, I'm taking it.
Yep. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's like an 80s Astro van.
Love it.
So I played for about an hour and a half, 2 hours last night. There's not a lot of meat on the bones. Like, it is a very just kind of kick back and relax and explore kind of game.
Is this like a van life / camping / walking simulator type thing?
Pretty much. That's essentially all it is. And you have 3 things to pay attention to. Your van is a battery-powered van. So you need to find fuel for your van, which is usually you can turn, like, you can burn wood to create electricity in your van, however you want to imagine that works. You have a hunger meter, so you need to find food and eat. And then there's a health meter where if you jump off something too high, you hurt yourself and you need to find a way to, heal yourself.
Right.
And you're just driving around the environment. As far as I can tell, there's literally no one else in this world. I gotta double check to see if this is a full release at this point because it feels like, from what I've played so far, it's
pretty early access.
It feels like it. I mean, maybe this is just the idea of the game. You were just one with the wilderness and you're exploring.
I don't think it is because it looks like they've already released collector's editions in physical for Switch, Switch 2, and PS5. So there you go.
This is the game. But I'm curious to see what you think about it. I'm enjoying it. If you enjoy stuff so essentially you can build your van out how you want. You can build your own like little camper in it and you'd be like, I want to have this and I can have these decorations. It's a very it's a cozy, just low-key
I'm looking at a bunch of
game.
gameplay screenshots and you start out and it's like, oh, now I'm going to add solar panels to my van. Now we're going to grow a garden on the roof. Now I have these blimps that can follow me around and generate wind energy. And it looks, by the looks of what I'm seeing, you start finding a place that you want to call home, and then you start building a house on top of your van and stuff.
Pretty much. And the thing that I saw about this is apparently and if we don't get to it, we don't. But apparently it does have online co-op. I'm not sure how it works. If both people have their own van and just follow each other around, if you both have the same van. But I figured it might be interesting to at least, if we get a chance, pop on and
I'll explore with you, sure.
Yeah. I don't expect you to put more than probably an hour or so into this game unless you're really enjoying it, because I feel like I've seen most of what there is to see. But it's a very nice. It
feels like perfect. We're recording on a Sunday morning. Looks like a perfect Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah, like I said, like it was last night. I was unwinding after I went and hung out with my cousins, played some video games yesterday afternoon. Came back and I was like, I just kind of want to unwind. And
what'd you guys
game.
Play?
We played Overcooked.
Nice.
Which there was some yelling as is tradition.
I still haven't had the pleasure.
No?
Nope.
You've never played it, or you've never had the...
Never played it. I think I own it on like 3 different things, and I've never played it.
All right, we're making that happen at Really Rad Weekend. We're grabbing probably not Joe, because he is...
I'm sure it wouldn't be
super busy.
It wouldn't be too terribly tough to ask for an accommodation to have that set up, though.
No, probably not. But we'll get a couple people. Whether you are a fan of the show and you decide to come to Really Rad Weekend in November and you want to play some games with us, or we can grab some of our friends and...
Or we could always just have a deck and a dock in our room and just invite people to play video games. We could have we don't have it yet, room arcade.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I think that's all I got, except I just want to quickly plug this drink that I had during the show. I'm
Oh, wow.
super excited that I found this. I showed you guys this yesterday, I think, or a couple days ago. Waterloo Sparkling Water has their Guy Fieri's Flavortown line. And I don't know if this came out years before. I've seen their flavors before, and I haven't found this one, but they have a root beer float seltzer. And I don't mean like a liquid death where it has, the fake sugars and like still 6 grams of sugar. Like this is literally carbonated water, natural flavors. This is like a polar seltzer. And I guess it's not fair because I haven't really had a root beer in almost 20 years, but this is about it. Like this is a root beer. Like
You don't even indulge yourself with a root beer float.
Man.
You're Mr. Desserts, and it's just that much of a hard stance against soda, huh?
That's why I created the cookie, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I created the root beer float cookie, and I got
you're a
my root beer that way.
Northeasterner. Are you a soda or a pop sayer?
Soda.
Hey man,
Pop
I knew
is-
I hosted this show with you for a reason.
Pop, I think, starts in like upstate, like basically John and Ian, Buffalo, that area.
Getting towards the Canadian border.
Yeah. No. It's always been soda.
Damn
And
right.
it will always continue to be soda.
Damn right.
All right.
So
everyone.
the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast have, we're tight on this one, baby.
Finally, we find
Yeah.
something we agree on. All right, I think this is all we've got for the show. As we've said every week, we've got a Patreon now where this episode, assuming Nick is not super busy today, will be up on Patreon early for subscribers. It comes out Wednesday morning for everybody else. I just I posted, I believe yesterday, my exclusive dad joke of the week for our subscribers, which I know has really driven membership there. I gotta figure
assign
out
me a blog
something-
to write this week.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
As I say, I gotta figure out something for Nick to write. He's gonna be doing a monthly blog post about something fun.
Give it to the audience, man. I don't care. Give me an assignment. I have fun with that.
Yeah, you know what? How about that? I will link Nick's Blue Sky handle in the episode description, and you can go ahead and tag him with.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, probably no one will tag you, but it's fine. Maybe someone will. I'll post a couple ways to reach out to us. Give Nick an idea of what you want to see him write about. I think we were supposed to do something about a giveaway.
I'd like to see that this week, and I will put you on the spot here. And I was going to say, you can sign up for the Patreon. And you don't have to subscribe with a monthly fee or anything like that. You can just sign up for our Patreon, and you'll just get friendly little reminders once a week in your email when the new episode is posted. So if you can do that, it helps us a great deal. But we'll give you some incentive to do that this week, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that works. Again, I'm going to actually make notes in our show notes that we have, because sometimes I say I'm going to do something, and then it floats out of my brain.
Such is life.
Never happens. Yeah. So if you enjoy it, obviously subscribe if you can. Join the Patreon. Share our episodes with anyone you think that might be interested, and just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, let's try and get a handheld giveaway up this week for new Patreon signups to get an entry. And if you're a paid user, you'll get an automatic entry. How's that?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, Nick, thanks for giving me some of your time today.
Oh, thanks for being here, my friend. I love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud. We will talk to you all next week.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.